During the 90s, the Game Boy and subsequently the Game Boy Color dominated the video game handheld market. Together, both the Game Boy and Game Boy Color sold over 118 million units worldwide, making it the third best-selling console of all time, next to the PS2 and Nintendo DS. Today, playing on the original hardware acts as a piece of nostalgia for those who experience this handheld. But finding certain games for this can be a challenge, especially rare ones like Shantae and Mega Man 5. A solution for this is using the GB USB Smart Card. Will this live up to expectations?
Hi guys, I'm Zach, and this is GG Fistbump. Today we'll be talking about the GB USB Smart Card 64M. It is a Game Boy and Game Boy Color flash card that can be played on original hardware.
The Smart Card is shaped just like a Game Boy cartridge. On top, there's a slot where you can connect a mini USB cable, which is the same cable used for PlayStation portables. Just like other Game Boy cartridges, it is compatible with the original Game Boy and its reiterations, the Game Boy Color, as well as the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Advance SP. Although, you'll have a cartridge dangling out of the system if you use the Game Boy Advance, which is kind of weird. Note that you can't use it on the Game Boy Micro because it can't hold Game Boy cartridges. It is manufactured by a company called EMS. I got mine from the Hong Kong-based Tototech Retro Store back in 2012 for $39.99 plus $7.89 shipping to Manila. It is still available from the website at $41.99 without USB and $43.99 with a USB cable. Now, instead of having a slot for a micro SD card, it has a built-in 64M capacity. You might get confused with the 64M thinking it might be megabytes, but it's actually megabits. 8 megabits equals 1 megabyte, so that's 8 megabytes total. However, there's a catch. There are two sides or partitions on the cartridge similar to the side A and B of old cassette tapes. Each side equally divides the 64 megabits, so that's 32 megabits each or 4 megabytes capacity on each side. For reference, Game Boy Color games like Shantae and Donkey Kong Country is already 4 megabytes. You can cram small games like Tetris, which is 32 kilobytes, or Super Mario Land, which is 64 kilobytes, but it will be a very limited number. Here's how you switch between the two partitions. I've loaded two games. Partition 1 is the Pokemon trading card game, while we have Super Mario Land on Partition 2. Once you turn on your system, it loads to Partition 1. If you want to switch to Partition 2, you need to do a quick on-off toggle. And here you'll see Super Mario Land. If you loaded multiple games into a partition, you'll see this kind of menu when you choose your game. I don't have the original packaging for this already, but it comes with a CD for its PC software. If you don't have it, you can still find the official software online. Installing the official software on current 64-bit operating systems is a bit complicated, as the software is intended for the 32-bit Windows XP. Good thing is that there's an unofficial program for Windows 10 called EMS Card that makes transferring games to the smart card easy. The downside of using this instead of the original program is that you are limited to just placing just one game per partition, regardless of the size. In the original program, adding multiple games per partition is possible.
Even if you do add multiple games into your smart card, you'll encounter one major limitation. You can only have one save file for the entire flash card. Try saving a second game, and it erases your first save file. There are no save states.
Now let's look on how to add games to the smart card using the EMS Card program. As mentioned earlier, this is the easiest way to add games using Windows 10, although you're limited to just 2 games at a time. First, plug in your smart card via mini USB and connect to your PC. It will be detected as an unknown device. Download EMS Card. I'll place a link below. Currently, the Windows program is at version 0.94. After the download, extract the contents. Next, open the ZDIC version 2.2 application. Once you see the unknown device on the window, make sure that the selected driver is WinUSB. Type in the USB ID, which is 46709394, and the WC ID is crossed out. Choose Install the driver. Mine already says Reinstall driver instead of Install the driver since it's already installed. Once done, open emscard.exe. So I'll be overwriting my games on my cartridge, Pokemon TCG and Super Mario Land. To add games to the smart card, choose Write to Cart. Click the left cartridge photo to choose the ROM, if it's either Game Boy or Game Boy Color. I'll choose Donkey Kong Country for this example. Tick Bank 1 or Bank 2 to choose which side the game will be in. Then click Start. Okay, after my Bank 1 game, let me add my Bank 2 game, Tetris. Back to our Game Boy. Power on. And Donkey Kong Country is here. Now with Bank 2. As you can see, Tetris is also here. Now even though you have one save file per cartridge, you can back this up on your computer, play and save a different game next, then load the previous game's save file for later. Just save your current game normally and it will create a .sav file in your smart card. From the EMS Card program, click Read to Cart. Afterwards, click on sram.sav files. Then Start so that you can choose where to save your .sav file. Rename it so that you would be reminded which game is the save from. You can now place other games if you want and overwrite the .sav in the smart card. If you want to reload your previous save file, choose Write to Cart. Select sram.sav files, choose your specific .sav file, then start to load your save backup. This is a very tedious process if you ask me. One nifty feature of the smart card is that it can support a program called Little Sound DJ, or LSDj. LSDj is a music program that allows you to create chiptunes or 8-bit music, which is a style of electronic music. Let me show you a snippet of LSDj in action. There are also other cooler LSDj setups such as this. Before we end, let's take a quick look inside. So just like other Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, it does have an internal coin cell battery to store saves. That means over time, your save might get lost. But unlike original games, you do not need to solder the battery, as it can easily be swapped. And don't forget, you can also back up the save to your PC. The smart card has very limited features, but it gets the job done. It can play any Game Boy or Game Boy Color games on actual hardware. It has LSDj support, and you can back up save files to your PC. However, you can only have one save file per card officially. You only have 8 MB of storage. You're limited to one game per partition using the EMS Card program, and although adding multiple games is possible, it has a more complicated process. It also drains batteries faster than regular cartridges. The GB-USB Smart Card 64M is not the best flash card experience given today's standards, but you can get the chance to play any game from your childhood on your original Game Boy for that authentic feel.
And with that, I think we're done. If you found this video interesting or entertaining, please like or subscribe to my channel for more content. Again, I'm Zach, and this is GG Fistball.